As the most dominant force in the Premier League since Fergie's glory days at United, Pep has steamrolled the Citizens to 4 Premier League titles in just 6 seasons.
But I mean, I'm six, sorry. Apologise.
Some would say they're unstoppable. Yet, with the right tactics, lesser teams with a fraction of their resources and star quality have still managed to put them to the sword.
What?
So, how have they done this? Well, in this video, we've stolen Pep's playbook and crunched the data into 4 phases on how to beat the imperious Man City. Make sure you stick around to the end to find out that one killer tactic that would send even the jealous Jurgen Klopp into a fist-pumping frenzy. First up, the secrets of Pep's success. Okay, so how does Guardiola make City so difficult to play against? He spends billions on the best players. Sure, that helps, but there's more to it, and Pep's tactical brilliance plays a part. For one, City are exceptional at keeping the ball. Pep has footballers throughout the side, starting with Ederson in goal. They push up fairly high when in the opposition half. When they do this, Ederson acts as a sweeper, playing just outside his box. They pass and move quickly. Kevin De Bruyne is the key midfield figure, of course. He drifts and roams when the ball is City's. He's there in advanced central position, able to thread balls into the fluid front 3. De Bruyne also drifts wide and delivers pinpoint crosses, and the movement inside the box gives him options. The signing of Haaland took things up a notch further too, because now City have a deadly finisher.
Whoa. Here I come. Here I come.
Off the ball, City are just as impressive. They drive at the opposition and press from the front. When City do need to defend, they swamp the ball carriers to try and win it back quickly. City have the highest average possession in the league across the last few seasons. You can't concede if you have the ball, right? Genius!
Yeah, I'm a genius.
City pass in small triangles with zip and precision. They pass in tight spaces with players who have an adhesive ball control. Give them too much space to play and you're done for, and they are clinical. Right, so we've pretty much established that you can't beat City. Bye-bye, folks. We'll see you next time. Oh, but wait. Maybe there is a way. Let's look at a few ways to beat City. Set pieces. We're not preaching from the book of Sam Allardyce here or Tony Pulis, but City aren't always the best at defending set pieces. Teams will get a sparsity of chances against City, particularly at the Etihad. Sometimes you really need to make the most of your set plays and try and gain territory. Play for that corner. When City press aggressively, draw a foul. If City have an overriding weakness, it always has been their defence. They deal with this by the age-old adage, attack is the best form of defence. Not the biggest at the back or the most physical of sides, City can be got at by players with a decent delivery and physical players attacking the ball. This is one minor aspect to start, but it's an important one. Make the most of set plays and have well-worked routines, as City defenders haven't always been blessed with their ability to track runners. Let's look at arguably the most important factor, game plan. Now, there are 2 ways you can approach this. When it comes to the press, you can play City at their own game. You can drown the spaces and press aggressively. It expands energy, but a few fit sides have had joy against City by pressuring them into errors and hitting them with quick transitions. Newcastle, for example, utilised an aggressive middle press as well as making good use of their set-piece oppositions and gave City a torrid time earlier in the 2022-23 season. It's important not to press too high, and that's asking for trouble. But once it gets to that middle, get in on them. City are susceptible to quick counterattacks. They do leave spaces in behind as well, so quick turnovers and direct attacking are the order of the day. Given City play with aggression, they have a weakness to quick turnovers and counterattacks. The downside to matching them with this is that you're also susceptible to that. Still, it worked for Newcastle, Villa, Brentford and for Liverpool this season. The other option is parking the bus, to sit behind the ball and stifle City. It takes an incredible amount of concentration as well as stamina. You're still reliant on the counter-attack, but your transitions are happening in your third, and that's a lot of pitch to cover to turn your possession into goal-scoring opportunities. However, if you plug spaces and shut off City's ability to hit quick cross-field balls to keep the pitch narrow, then you might just limit their chances and maybe, just maybe, pull off a result. Real Madrid won the Champions League by stifling better opposition and grinding out results. They famously beat Man City on their way to defeating Liverpool in the 2022 final. Brentford's win against City at the Etihad was a perfect blend of both approaches, by being aggressive and pressing in the first half and sitting off a little deeper in the second half. The most key thing you need though is to attack with pace and decisiveness. Brentford's final match-winning counter coming from defending a corner was a perfect breakaway and City struggled to contain their pace. You can create chances against City. They'll give them up, but you have to take them. Of course, an overriding game plan is necessary, as well as targeting their weaknesses, but just as important is stifling City's key men. Next up, stop City's magic trio. Right, we've established that Erling Haaland is a cybernetic organism sent from the future to terminate Premier League defenders. As a physical force, he can't be stopped, but you can limit his goal-scoring opportunities. The most effective way of stopping Haaland is to cut off his supply line. Stop the ball getting to the man who can put the ball on a penny from 100 yards. Yes, stop Kevin De Bruyne. As we've established, he can be a nightmare to track sometimes. It's better to give the ball to City's fullbacks or Rodri and say, "Go on son, pick one out." They might create something, they might not. De Bruyne rarely misplaces a pass, so any time and space makes him deadly. When Aston Villa took a point from City, they were unlucky not to win. They limited De Bruyne's impact, and though Kev found Haaland for City's goal, both players were largely frustrated. Taking De Bruyne out the game as much as humanly possible by pressing him or sticking a man on him is a good route to limiting their attacking threat. It's like sticking a big bag over Godzilla's head. He's far less dangerous then. Okay, bad example. Then there's Foden. So many of City's goals have come through some combination of Foden, Haaland and De Bruyne. As a trio, they seem to know when and where to run and when to pass. So in order of play, keep De Bruyne from getting the ball as much as possible, followed by Foden and Haaland. Most of all, don't forget your voodoo dolls and bring a chicken to sacrifice. What is the other important hurdle to overcome when playing City? Here's our final piece of the jigsaw. Mentality. So many clubs, whether home or away, turn up against City and they've lost the game before kickoff. Great sides are paid a huge amount of respect, but sometimes too much. Now, while sitting deep can be a viable tactic, it's only worthwhile if you have the pace to counter swiftly and directly, and you're always looking to get on the front foot when you have a chance. To play for a 0-0 with no attacking ambition is suicide against City. Worse still, some sides approach the game with damage limitation in mind. We're probably going to lose, but let's lose 2-0 instead of getting battered like a chippy haddock. Don't let City dictate everything. Don't let them enjoy the freedom of the park. Yes, always be aware and organised for what City bring to the game, but Brentford used the pace of their wide men and the blunt force of Ivan Toney to cause City problems. Their game plan was predominantly, how do we hurt City? It worked. The truth is, City aren't great defensively. Even in games City have won, such as the 4-2 win against Palace or the 6-3 mauling of United, they look suspect defensively. Yes, City teams are human, except for Haaland. He was constructed in a lab. Ultimately, you can score. Maybe you can score too. Do that and the onus is on City to then outscore you. Remember, unlike Villa at the end of last season, who were 2-0 up on 71 minutes, switch off at your peril. They conceded a Gundogan hat-trick in 5 minutes and lost the last game and the title for Liverpool. Sorry, Jurgen. What do you think of our grand plan to beat City? Foolproof or just the ramblings of a drunken Richard Keys? Let us know in the comments.